It's still setting it up. All right, it's done. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Visiting Paris with me, Madeline and Tracy.
Hi.
I see you've got all the treats. Oh my God.
Yes. It's only for me, but I'm very hungry. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. I'm supposed to come to Tracy's house today. She lives in the 13th arrondissement, but there's, because of quarantine, there's regulation on who can take the metro from 5 to 7. So I didn't want to get a fine and but I want to hear all about the food anyway, though.
Well, I classed it up and then I went déclassé. I took a little trip to Picard today. We talked about Picard, I think, in a couple of videos back. Picard, how do you say that? Surgel? The frozen food store.
Yeah, like gelée is frozen.
Yes. Surgelé, yes. So I buckled. And I got them because we did also speak of tacos, and it's neuf mini tacos. And, yes.
That's so cool.
Let's pretend you're here for apéro. And for those of you that don't know what apéro is, it's like happy hours, sort of, but it's also like aperitif, sort of, and it's also like cocktail hour, and it's also like a mini picnic, and it's also for dinner, and it can be for, I guess, anything. But the thing that I think is absolutely hysterical, I don't know if you can see this, it's 9 mini tacos with an apostrophe S. So I always say, 9 mini tacos what? Like, what is it possessing of? It's one of those French things. But I'll taste one and I'll tell you what you're missing. I'm sure it's incredible.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. I love Picard so much. Like they have different sections of just for fish, just for like restaurant style, for dessert, fried food, meat, vegetables. It's like fruits. It's insane. They have a section for everything, but it's kind of a small store, like in comparison to other places, but it's still, there's so much.
They have I was walking.
I like to get the hamburger there.
It's like a whole hamburger with a bun and all the accoutrements and everything. It's hysterical. And then they have a section with, it has duck confit and foie gras, like frozen loaves of foie gras. It's like mind blowing. That's amazing. But I did also have, like I said, I classed it up a little bit.
Like, and they also have macarons.
Oh, I didn't even see those. I did get, these are actually some really yummy tarts from a bakery that's, it's not the closest one, but they're better, generally speaking. When we get to the end, you're really going to be so sad that you missed this one. This is very special.
Oh,
that's so sorry. You should have risked the fine, Madeline.
Oh my God, I was just so nervous because like in the metro, I'm in the 10th, which is about 35 to 40 minutes away from the 13th by metro. And
oh, okay.
I've been on the metro before where the RATP people, they'll come on and they'll check like your tickets or your attestation, which is the file that you need to show that you're a professional coming back from work or whatever. And technically it would be for work, but I just wasn't, I don't have an attestation, so I don't even know what the fine is. I just don't want to talk to them. I don't want to, it's
just by
to talk
moving around
to the police because I'm not French. Yeah.
Well, so and you're in the 10th. I'm trying to think what's near you in the 10th.
So I'm near, it says my internet. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It breaks up, but then when you go silent, I just do a tap dance until you come back, and then.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I'm in the 10th. I'm near Poissonnière, which is a metro station. I'm near Gare du Nord, Gare de l'Est, and those are two of the biggest train stations here. And then I'm near Canal Saint-Martin, which is like fun to go to. It's by République, if you've been there.
What is it called?
République?
Yes, but you go where? I've been there. That's that big square, like massive, pretty massive.
Yeah,
square.
yeah. It has this giant statue in the middle, this giant sculpture. And then if you keep walking, there's this canal called Canal Saint-Martin.
Yes.
And you can work out there, you can sit by the water. There's cafes everywhere. There's even little clubs that are hidden. So it's interesting.
Isn't the Bataclan kind of over there?
I think so, yes. I've actually never been there before. So I'm not exactly sure where that is, but let me check.
There's also a club there that I went to. We went to not that long ago. I don't know, a few months at this point. And it's called New Morning. Really fun. It was like disco kind of, but also kind of this Middle Eastern slant to it and North African. It was a great club. Everybody just was partying. Of course, we were the oldest people there, but we didn't let that phase us. We danced as much as everybody else. We kind of put everybody to shame as far as I'm concerned. But I'm trying to find the chat on here, but everything is always in French. I don't know where the chat is here. I'm just gonna click around. There we go. Reactions.
If you go to participants, it's the one next to participants.
There we go. Partager l'écran converser. There you go. Oof. Yeah, I'm signing up for French lessons, so I guess that's happening. I realized I needed it, especially today, because I was I was walking back from picking up all these pastries and goodies, and I stopped at one of the relay boxes, and they're still kind of piled up. I'm noticing now everything. I don't know if people. I don't really know why. I'm not really sure, but all of a sudden, all these things are just piled everywhere. And I'm looking, and this woman walks over to me, and she just starts speaking to me in French. And it gets to a point. I mean, I don't know I can pick out every few words, but it gets to a point where I'm like at the precipice, and then it's past the point of me being able to say, "Je ne parle pas français," like I don't speak French. So we get past that, and she's looking at me, and I just am like, oh wait, yeah, ugh. And I'm just thankful that most people want to broadcast and they don't really care what you have to say. So she eventually just said something about riche this and something about the supermarket, and then nodded and walked away. And I was like, oh shoot, escaping. But I realized I need to learn to speak some French because it's just, maybe you can teach me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. We could do maybe an event where I teach you French or something. That'd be cool.
That would be fantastic. That would be a really good idea. Yeah. Very basic, and maybe bring some Valium. Well, that's true. Bring some Ativan with you because you're going to need patience with me. That would be really fun. Do like a basics French class. Let's do that. Maybe next week.
I mean, I was an English teacher to little French kids, and they don't really want to learn English, or like they do, but they're wild, and so I have a lot of patience because I was basically a glorified babysitter. But
I'll run around the apartment and throw things. I'll make you feel completely comfortable with teaching. That's a good idea. We should do that. All right, we'll make a note of that. Done.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So we're talking about, you mentioned like talking about the different arrondissements and what's in them. So you probably know more than I do about that. Yeah. So.
I have it pulled up. So on the blog, the Experience First blog, me and Tracy are always posting on there every week. So if you go to the Experience First website and scroll down to the bottom and find the link for blog, it's sort of small right now. We're going to make it bigger. But you will find all of our blogs and one of mine is Paris by arrondissement, because Paris is sort of shaped like an escargot, like a snail, and it's divided into different districts that kind of are in a circular motion. So I wrote down a list for tourists and visitors that aren't as familiar with this area, of all the different arrondissements and like what is worth seeing there. And so for this event today, I wanted to go through it, and like me and Tracy can tell you about our favorite places or make comments on the arrondissements, because we've been here for a while just exploring them. So for the first arrondissement, I have the Louvre and the Tuileries Gardens, which are right near each other. So that's also going to be Musée de l'Orangerie and Jeu de Paume, which is at the base of the Tuileries Gardens, and also Angelina, which has the best hot chocolate ever, which I also did a blog post about. I don't know what you think of this area, Tracy, but like the Tuileries Gardens is my favorite place to just relax, even though it's like kind of a tourist trap area and it's always so crowded. It's really beautiful, like all year round.
I see a lot of Parisians there. I mean, you know, now there are no tourists here. Essentially, they're not allowed. Hopefully, soon come back. But I mean, even when you go there now, there are a ton of people there. There's a reason why. I mean, there's a reason why it's such a draw. It is, and being as how it is so close to everything. You know, you don't have to walk far to get anywhere incredibly scenic and beautiful. And I do love the Tuileries. I love. Yeah, you can just kind of be outside of the Louvre and look around, and it's just stunning, especially at night with that, you know, the glass pyramid is incredible. Yeah, and you can see the light of the Eiffel Tower, you know, the beacon that goes around, and then when it sparks, I mean, it's just epic. It just is epic. And it's a fancy area. It's pretty posh, you know, but I don't know, I think it's worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah, it's pretty posh. There's a lot of like really historic hotels around that area as well, where you can like have high tea if you're into that. And then there's a lot of like tourist stores. You can buy a beret or something. Also in the Tuileries Gardens, like year round, they'll have events as well. Like for Christmas, they'll have a Christmas fair that I like to go to, and it's really cool. I don't know if you were here for that.
I was here in between. I think when we got here, I want to say there was the metro strike that happened, which strangely enough, I mean, it impacted, but there's still other ways to get around, which was, so it wasn't the worst thing. But I mean, the metro is the lifeblood. It's really how you get around. So we did kind of go around. We sort of stayed in this area, and there was still, I mean, everywhere you go, there's something happening, which is so, I mean, you know, you don't have to really go far to find something, but I really would like to next Christmas. I think what's at the, I mean, what happens there I mean, I know what happens in America at like a holiday, you know, festival, but what happens here? What do they have?
So here, I mean, it's really overpriced. I just walked through, honestly. It's good for kids though, I imagine, and for tourists and visitors that like experience the gardens that way, because there's a Ferris wheel that's really big. Had this giant, like just a bunch of kind of carnival rides, I guess you could say. And then they have a lot of like marshmallows dipped in chocolate, and the chocolate's really commercial and it's not very good, but I still like spent €5 on I think a marshmallow that was dipped in chocolate that looked like a zebra. And like they have different sort of like people dressed up and Santa everywhere, in the shape of like these kind of cartoonish looking statues. And yeah, I walked through, and it was fun enough just to do that, because I was just like, whoa, this is crazy, what's going on? And on the outskirts of it, they'll have little sort of markets where you can buy like jewelry or Russian dolls, you know, the stacking dolls.
The nesting dolls, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and like just kind of weird little trinkets for Christmas presents that are actually good ideas. But it was just interesting to walk through. And yeah, and then for the second arrondissement, because there's 20 that I've noted, and then on the outside of Paris, there's like the 94, and it gets into the suburbs. But the second arrondissement, it used to be the location for the stock exchange. And you can find, this is like sort of one of the underrated arrondissements, because I feel like whenever people are in the second one, they'll think they're in the first one or the third one. But you'll see these signs on the street. It'll say the street name and the number arrondissement underneath. So there's Montorgueil, like Marche de Montorgueil, and it's right by Châtelet-Léal, which is a big mall that to me kind of feels like a prison. And it actually used to be like Châtelet used to be the prison of
like
Paris. So I wasn't wrong about that.
The Innocents or something, like it was where I think weren't women like they either self-cloistered or they kind of went and just lived extremely like hermited lives there or something. I mean, there's like a real history there. And you walk there now, you can't imagine, because there's a giant, like there's an H&M and a swimming pool and a theater. And you look around, you're going, how was this ever medieval? Like it just doesn't seem like it's plausible, but I mean, you know, it's pretty, and that's a great place.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Is that the Marais?
It's near the Marais. So like Marche de Montorgueil is pretty long, and like you can get pastries there from Ladurée, Odette, and Storer, which are really old and really known pastry places to go see. And once you get to Châtelet-Léal and you're past that, you'll be in Le Marais. Like that's the area.
I know it's funny.
And that brings us
arrondissements, but they're really navigable. I mean, you're not talking walking miles and miles. Paris is actually relatively small, so when you're here, you can walk through multiple arrondissements in just a few hours. It's very easy.
Yeah. It's like you'll be from the first, second, and third arrondissement. You'll be within them like super quickly, because once you're in the Marais, you're in the part of the Marais is the third arrondissement, and you can find the Picasso Museum, the Temple District, and the Museum of Arts and Métiers, like arts and trade. And this is sort of like, I go there for the Picasso Museum and stuff, but then once you're in the fourth arrondissement, you're like in the heart of the Marais, which is like super interesting because there's tons of boutiques there, and it's known as the Jewish district and the gay district because it has so much history around both of those. So it's super lively. And yeah, the fourth arrondissement also has Ile Saint-Louis, Notre Dame, and Saint Pompidou in it.
So yes, you're really kind of you go like this, you know, so you're having like, let's say the 13th next to the, you know, the 6th, or, you know, like just the way it sounds like, I mean, if you look, I wish we could show a map. But if you look at it, then you kind of get it where it like spirals out like what is it called? It'll come to me. Like a snail shell, like you were saying. Yeah, but there's another really cool, like, prehistoric creature that does that. I'll have to think about it. But and then if you're at the fourth, by the way, oh my gosh, on the fourth, you were saying the Jewish quarter, that's where like Rue de Rosier is. My gosh, that's like this. It ties with Rue Mouffetard for like the most delicious smelling street in Paris. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I haven't been there. That sounds really cool.
Oh, we have to go.
Rue Mouffetard.
Oh yeah. We have to go there, guys. As I'm sitting here eating my frozen Picard tacos.
Did you heat them up?
Yes. Made all the difference in the world. I'll have more wine. It'll be fine.
Oh my god.
No, they're okay. They're all right for frozen tacos.
What's in them?
So there,
Do you know?
I do. So,
beef, haricots rouge, and maize. So beef, red beans on a corn tortilla. Poulet, tomate,
goodness.
citron vert. So chicken, tomato, lime. This is where it gets real authentic.
Uh-huh.
Very Mexican. Chèvre, poivron jaune, and oignon rouge. So goat
Oh
cheese,
my god.
yellow pepper, and red onion. That's the French taco. Brought to you by Pico.
Coming from Texas, the minute you say chèvre, I'm like, wow, that's so French.
It's so French. Yeah, so I mean,
Like
when
the
you
goat cheese.
goat cheese tacos, yeah, they're like I said, they're not the worst. They're not the worst. Oh yeah, mate, corn. There's a corn on there. I feel like I'm in Paris, Mexico. Okay, so we're in the fifth arrondissement.
And that actually brings us to the it brings us to the fifth arrondissement because this is Latin Quarter and a super student friendly area as far as I'm concerned for like prices on food and stuff. But they have a really great burrito place there on Rue Mouffetard that you have to go to. It's called it's called something Mexa. People might laugh that I like this place so much because it is a chain. Boca Mexa. But it's really good, even though it's a chain, it's a ton of food. Like I'm from Texas and I think it reminds me the most of being there. So it's
so I kind of was making fun of it a little bit the other day, but yeah.
I mean, it's expensive and they put a lot of food, but it really does remind me of like Qdoba, which we had in Texas by my university. So,
all right, I trust you.
Also,
I trust
you. In the fifth arrondissement, you can find really cool things like the Mosque of Paris. You can come here for tea, and it's super cool. The hammam as well, which is like
you can get
like a Turkish spa treatment.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can get massages and the spray downs and like the whole thing. It's not touristy. I mean, it's an actual hammam. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I actually did that for my birthday. I treated myself because I was like, I want to see what this experience is like. And it's like a lot of heated spas. There was this room with a boiling vat of water, and I thought it was a hot tub, but every time I got near it, I was like, I think that's way too hot. So I just sat by the bench near it. And it was definitely just like a boiling vat of water to make the place like a sauna, you know? So I'm really glad I didn't scald myself. No, it really gives you instructions. You're just kind of expected to know what to do. And then they do the gommage, I think is what it's called, when they have like a mitt and they just sort of do this on your entire body, and it actually really hurts. Like it's not that relaxing, but I do recommend it. They massage you at the end really quickly and you leave feeling really soft because all your dead skin is gone.
And maybe some of the live skin is also gone at that point.
Yeah, true. It's really cool because it's not like a Western spa that's just like pay $80, get a massage, pay $60, get a facial. It's like they're like, it's more like pay 50 euros, spend as long as you want, like getting your skin soft in like the heat, and then we'll rub you a ton, sorry. And I don't know. Also, afterwards, there's and then afterwards there's Jardin des Plantes, which is the Botanical Gardens. And you can go there for the zoo, you can go there for the greenhouse or the Natural History Museum. And I
Oh, it's
actually
all
have a friend who goes to school at the Natural History Museum. So it's really cool. There's a lot of stuff to do there. And that's not even the end of it. Like there's the Lutèce Arena, which is right near Rue Mouffetard, and then there's Rue Mouffetard, which is the best street ever for food and even dancing and stuff. They have everything. So
I really wish I could show the photos. We were there a couple of nights in a row and just brought you know, a couple things to eat and drink, and there was a you know, cute, like some kind of band, you know, a duo playing, and people were milling around, and you know, oh dang it, I really feel like I need to get in there and share the photos. They're amazing. They're just, and the food, yeah, you just walk up the street and down the street, and it smells incredible. And it's not just the food, the pre-made food, or the, you know, the food stalls. There's a wonderful seafood market, there's a boucherie, there's fromagerie, there's a couple of wine places, you know, there's ice cream, there's just everything. I love it. I love it. And it's not far from here.
Not right now. Not right now because of coronavirus going on, but before there was this man who holds this like free massage with donation, and he'll sit in the center of the top of Rue Mouffetard, and you can come get like a little massage. And then there's also live performers that just come. They're like performing for money, but when they go there, it's not like they're actual performers, you know, like probably up and coming, and they're just doing it for fun. And I've had a few run-ins with that there where I'm just like, this place is so magical, you know.
Yes. Are you talking about, is it Place de Contrescarpe? That little circle?
The circle at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be plaster. I always just call it the top of Rue Mouffetard. I'm not really sure.
The top of Mouffetard, because you know, that's very Parisian. I just love that you can say, hey, meet me here or meet me there, and you can just, you know, very quickly you can meet friends there and just socialize. And I mean, if I had friends here, I would totally meet friends here and socialize. We have to do that. We really do have to do that at some point. I'll be like your mom here.
Down.
Yeah, is your mom here? I'll wave my finger. Where's Kathy? I'm gonna wave. I'll mom you. And then Kathy maybe can meet my daughter in the United States, or be with her, and she can mom my daughter. We can like trade you off because you're the age of my daughter. So that's like perfect. It's like surrogate mothers and daughters.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anyway.
Yeah. So go on. We're at 6 now.
And I don't know if you're familiar with the 6th arrondissement. It's where the Luxembourg Gardens are, and like Saint-Germain-des-Prés, like the shopping and really fancy area. I don't spend that much time here, but I like the Luxembourg Gardens because there's a lot of sculptures and it's really beautiful, and there's like a palace that you can hang out in the gardens and get inspired. But Saint-Germain-des-Prés, that's where Café Flore and sorry?
I think that big magnificent Senate, like the Senate meets there or something. That's where they have the guard that stands there in the plexiglass box with the with the weapon. But I mean, I actually recommend that probably to most people, just because it's so huge. You can access it from so many different ways and areas, and there's that beautiful fountain and ducks. So, I mean, I think that's actually a really varied and diverse and beautiful. I mean, and I mean, just around it is so nice. I like Luxembourg. I highly recommend that. Maybe I'll do a post about Luxembourg because I really love that place. I have some great photos like throughout the year. I think I'll do that. It's nice. It's nice.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I know the area around it, you can go to like different cafes, which are really famous for like literary history and art history, because a lot of influential people went to them. Café Flore and Les Deux Magots Cafe. I've been to Les Deux Magots. but it's really expensive. So my parents brought me.
That's okay. You'll treat them someday. We do.
True.
I would buy when we did when you did your writing workshop, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. So if anybody's watching this and wants to go on Sundays, I have to say that's actually become like one of my favorite things. I really look forward to that. You do the writing workshop kind of on Sundays, which cover poetry or short stories, and it's wonderful writing prompts. And then I walk through. I think we have some issues sometimes with doing video outside, but I think I'll try instead to video so that way it'll be nice and smooth and I can upload it subsequently. And then you can still do your writing and then people can see really beautiful, scenery of Paris and be inspired.
Oh.
And I think people actually, if you're watching this, go back and look at some of our the last past Sundays, 2 Sundays, I guess, 2 or 3. It's such a wonderful way to spend a Sunday. Yeah. I really like it.
Thank you. Yeah, I find it really fun. And in the first Sunday, we actually got someone to share their work at the end. So you should watch that one back because
it was so nice.
You should never be scared to share your work. It was absolutely beautiful. And then, the 7th arrondissement has the Eiffel Tower in it. So I'm going to talk about that as well because Experience First has guided tours to the Eiffel Tower. So
just the Eiffel Tower.
Selfless plug. There's also the Musée d'Orsay, Invalides, which is a good place to hang out, like the mall, the outdoor mall, I guess, or like the grassland. I don't know what to call it, where all the Parisians sit with their wine, their cigarettes, their food. They'll sit here, and it's a really good place to hang out beside the banks of the Seine. And Musée d'Orsay is like my favorite museum because it has impressionist art, which I really like.
Yes.
So,
is that like?
Have you gotten a chance to go there yet?
No, I mean I've walked past it 100 times. Is that the one with the 2 big clocks? It was the old train station, and I just think you go cabaret every time I see it. Mm-hmm. Not yet.
Yeah. It's it used to be a train station. Yeah, it's really cool.
So parks are reopening on Tuesday, on Tuesday in a few days. So I think restaurants with outside seating soon to follow. So I think soon things are going to be opening back up. So hopefully museums and monuments soon. So yeah, parks, then outside seating for restaurants, and then monuments and museums, I hope. And then I'll go with you to Musée d'Orsay because since it's your favorite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds good. And like when we finally can go to these places and everything's open again and it's safer, we can probably do our episodes from like inside different museums and like we can do coffee tasting and it'll be real visiting Paris and we won't have to just talk about the arrondissement. We can bring you to them.
Yes!
So that'll be coming up soon.
I'm really excited about that.
I can't wait for that, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so that was
so the 8th arrondissement.
8th.
That was the 7th.
Okay.
One. But we have 20, and we.
I know we're gonna have to continue.
5 minutes left.
We're like halfway.
So I'm gonna do just the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Because I already talked about the 10th earlier, Canal Saint-Martin and République. That's like where I live. But the 8th arrondissement is the Champs-Élysées, Madeleine, the station. It's a train station, and Arc de Triomphe, which is at the top of Champs-Élysées. And when I was here in 2018, when France won the World Cup, they actually, because the Arc de Triomphe is there for like the triumphs of like France in different wars and everything. It's like the triumph arc, literally. So when we won or when they won the World Cup, the whole population of Paris just walked up the Rue de Rivoli up to Champs-Élysées, like to the Arc de Triomphe. And it was amazing, but it was kind of terrifying because literally the whole city was there, you know? But that's the thing you do when you win something all together. You walk all that way to the Arc de Triomphe. It was kind of amazing. Like, it's not just an old historical arc. Like, it's still used, I guess, for triumphs in a way. I thought that was cool.
That would have been something to see.
But yeah.
That would have been the time to like go get
Yeah.
you know, the macarons standing in line, or go to get the Queen Amman at Larnaca when nobody else, when everybody was away. You go get all this. You're like, ooh, I don't have to wait in line anywhere. I'm just gonna go get all this other stuff. Although they probably shut the shop.
I mean, I feel like even the storekeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Nowadays, the Champs-Élysées is filled with like luxury stores and everything. But apparently at night for tourists, they open up to because there's a lot of tourists from China that come to Champs-Élysées, and they bring tons of money from their markets. And so at night, past closing, apparently they open the stores just for these groups of like Chinese tourists that come, because they'll spend like thousands of euros like while they're there, and it'll be in like an underground passageway. I heard this from one of the Experience First tour guides. Apparently her friend works as a shopkeeper or a salesperson in one of the stores in Champs-Élysées. So I thought that was also interesting.
See, I hear that, I'm like, we got to go crash that. We just got to see what. I mean, we have to see what that's all about.
I mean, I feel like you have to have 20,000 euros in your wallet or something to be let in past closing, but I don't know. I can't even imagine the shopping culture at that time of night, where it's like, here's 5,000, here's 6,000, blah blah blah.
Well, I don't know.
They make the money back when they go back.
I just look at it and say, well, you know, I guess you can keep the economy running. It's not going to be wow. Yeah, it's I feel like well, what's nice is actually you can go from the Arc de Triomphe down the Champs-Élysées to the Tuileries to the Louvre. I mean, it's all one straight shot. So it's like amazing. You can just spend just a few hours and just see it all. Stop and get a clip at a kiosk along the way. I mean, really, it's like you can. That's a good spot, like Arc de Triomphe and all the way down. Man, there's a lot to see.
Yeah,
all right, that was
nice. Champs-Élysées at the sorry, I think the Wi-Fi is making us like but at the end of Champs-Élysées, there's the Petit Palais and Grand Palais, which you can go to. There's all these like exhibits and stuff in the Grand Palais, and then the Petit Palais is always free to go in. And then they'll have exhibits too. But Fashion Week actually happens sometimes at the Grand Palais, which is really cool. Like, I'll just suddenly see one of like Bella Hadid on Instagram. She'll post a picture from Grand Palais, like, oh, this weekend I was there for Fashion Week. And I'm like, oh my God, I missed it. I'm right here, but I could have gone.
You're like, Gigi Hadid who? Who cares? What's really nice is, and I had heard this before I came here, and I really didn't understand it. When I was applying for a visa, one of the questions was, are you an artist or an actor? Any of those things. And I'm thinking, why does that matter? I'm applying for a visa. What does it matter? I'm like, well, yeah, it's Paris. It's art. Like, they are serious about art here. They are serious about their art culture. They are serious about their museum culture. They are serious about their history. It is not ironic in any sense. They are extremely serious, and art is everywhere. If you like art, this is absolutely the city for you. And history, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of it. I mean, and again, there's not a sense of irony. It's literally, that is the truth. That is the absolute truth. I mean, it's everywhere. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's valued. It's very valued.
I mean, I remember I was having a conversation with one of my French friends who's from Paris, and he was saying, because I was talking about how I love film, and he was like, something about the 7th art or something. And I was like, what is that? And I guess I'm just not very cultured, but in America, we just have like movies, music, art, paintings, poetry. We don't put it in like sanctions, but they have, I think, 10 different like, oh, film is the seventh one. I don't really know the rest of them, but I was so like amazed that it was in this hierarchical section that of study almost, you know? I
Yes.
thought that was really cool when I found that out. But we have 4 minutes left, so I'm gonna introduce the ninth arrondissement and then we'll do the next 10 next week.
Okay. Okay.
Because we do this every Thursday.
Yes.
So for the ninth arrondissement, it's gonna be opera, like Opera Garnier, which is the inspiration for the Phantom of the Opera. Grand Boulevard, which is a bunch of shops, and then Belle Epoque department stores. So that's like Galerie Lafayette, Printemps, and like there's H&M there as well.
Yes.
So yeah.
I will say
I actually used to work in this arrondissement as well.
Oh, what did you do there? Is that where the frog was? Is.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not was, is.
That's where I was a waitress for a while,
Yeah.
and I worked near Place Vendôme though, so I was closer to like Madeleine Station, which I mentioned earlier, but I still took the station Opera to get there.
Ah, yes. Oh, bonjour, Kathy. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
I will say too that when I was here with my daughter in September, we went and saw a fashion show, the back to school fashion show at Galerie Lafayette, where if you're going back to school in Paris, apparently you wear a $5,000 chainmail dress. But I'm all for that. That's totally fine. But we got to see the roof. We went to the rooftop. Well, first of all, the whole this whole thing is incredible. One of my very good friends, she had the cojones, thank God, to go try on this one of the suits that was being modeled. It was like a $5,000. I mean, like you could adjust it and rushed here and like fitted. I was like, good for you, girl. She tried. It was like $5,000. She wasn't gonna buy it, but she tried it on anyway, and I applauded it. But that was at Galerie Lafayette. But we went to the rooftop. That is an incredible view. It's free essentially, and they have a cafe there. That's just fantastic to sit and just enjoy the view. Or you could probably bring a bottle of wine and enjoy it yourself next to it. But I think that's like one of the most spectacular views. I mean, I think it's fabulous. So we'll go there too. It's on the list.
Yeah, I love that view. And like Galerie Lafayette is also known for its decorations. So like the window shopping during like Christmas and stuff, you have to see it. They literally hire. I worked with a woman whose husband was one of the artists that they hire to do like commission work on the windows and design the concept for them and everything. Oh, wow. And I thought that was so cool because this year they had like animatron bees, and it was obviously advertising still their clothing and everything, but it was more of like a music story, and they had birds as well, just like dancing like this.
Yes.
So that was cool.
Oh.
So
and are we only going to 10? Is that what's it? Did we cover 10? Why do we run out of time every single time? It just keep going on and on.
Well,
and on.
We talked about 10 earlier.
Okay.
We talked about the 10th earlier, but so we have 1 minute left. Tomorrow you should tune in for our spooky, scary story Paris one with Maureen. It'll be me, Tracy, and Maureen. And then Saturday we have your walking through Paris, even though you probably won't be walking through Paris.
I'll walk through Paris and I'll record it, and then I'll I'll come back and do something. Or I'll just walk around outside on the balcony or something.
Yeah. And then Sunday we have the poetry class again, which you should come to. And
We have some
Next
new.
week we have a bunch of new ones. Yeah, sorry, that's what you were
No.
going to say.
So I wanted to know. So is there one on Monday yet, or is it Tuesday?
There's not one on Monday. There's one on Tuesday. There's one on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we almost
Yes.
have all of them, and there'll be 2 on Thursday for Paris as well.
Oh gosh, yeah. So Tuesday, you and I are doing unusual stories. Wednesday is like Vin Joyeux, like a happy wine Wednesday.
Yes.
And Thursday, oh my gosh, yeah, just check exp1.com and go to From Home, and there's a ton of stuff there. So, okay, so Kathy asks, is France opening bar? Yes. So so Tuesday parks are opening, and then subsequently it is outside seating for bars and restaurants. So yes, there we go. And Gilles, let's listen to Gilles because he's Parisian. There we go. When is that?
Well,
When is the restaurants? What day? That's the Parisian contingent there. Okay. I always wait to get booted off, and it makes me sad. I guess we say au revoir.
yeah, true.
Bonsoir.
Au revoir.
Yes, swimming pools. Woo! Swimming pools.
Bonsoir. Thank you guys for listening.
Swimming pools. Sorry, I'm swimming in the chambre de salon now. Bye. Au revoir. Bonne journée. Bonsoir.